welcome back to Mary Elizabeth Jones' Friday Hour, Part 2.
Yes, yes. We took a 3-hour break.
Yes, because it was raining outside.
It was raining, and I think and it was really weird. It was birds everywhere, flies everywhere. The food the birds ate,
Yeah.
and the flies, and it was weird. I think we did the best we could, but then when the rain came, hopefully the rain kind of washed a lot of that stuff away. So, but I roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Nothing really gets me down.
Yeah.
I had dinner the other night. I told you about the guy. I was in New York, and he said I don't ever want to go to New York again and everything. So and I told you that story. And so anyway, his wife was there, and I don't know his wife that well, but I had to sit by her because. Let me tell you something. I go to almost everywhere I go. In like a booth or something, say like we have to shove 6 people in a booth or shove 6 people on a couch or something. I'm always in the middle like this.
Yeah.
I'm a real skinny malink. and you could put like people my size, probably 4 or 5 of us on the side, and then there's like the heavier people, maybe 1 or 2 on the other side. I should make fun like that. But there was this one guy I knew. He's no longer with us. But he was so big that he always had to sit in a chair on the side of the table when we went to a restaurant or a bar or something because he could not fit in the booth. Yeah. Can you imagine not being able to fit in a theater seat or a booth or something? Well, anyway, so I was sitting with next to the other skinny person at this table, and she said. And she doesn't know me that well, but we've met a few times. And she says, every time I see you, you're in a good mood. Why are you always in a good mood?
Yeah.
And I said, I'll tell you why. I never gave that a thought. You're just always in a good mood. You're always happy. You're always laughing. You're always, There are a lot of people I know that are that way. My favorite people are that way. Like you. So anyway, what happened was always in a good mood. So I said, I tell you why some people are in a good mood all the time. We realize after a certain time in our life, we don't have to do anything we don't want to do. Like, for example, if you don't want to go to church, a lot of times, your parents drag you to church, or your girlfriend drags you to church or something, or your wife drags you to church. And then comes a day, says, I don't want to go to church anymore. Or I don't want to go to school anymore. Or I don't want to go to McDonald's anymore or something. I'm always being dragged there. And sometimes you have such a terrible time at certain places. Like bars, for example. There were so many drunk people at bars. It got to the point where I don't want to go to bars anymore. Unless I'm in a restaurant and I'm with people and stuff, and I have to go. But that's a rare thing. So I said it came to a point where I realized I don't want to do stuff anymore, and I don't have to do it anymore. and thus it frees you from stuff. I know people don't like going to the movies. I don't want to be dragged to the movies anymore. I said I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Because what you think is a great thing or a terrible thing, they think is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing in the world is kissing girls and going to the movies. So anyway, so then I started to think about why people are happy and everything. There's a you know what I've been doing the last few weeks? You're gonna love this. I go to Wi-Fi places. I don't have Wi-Fi anymore, and I'm downloading all this stuff because I have all the software on my computer. I could download stuff, and then I'm playing it at night as my entertainment every night. I don't have cable. I don't have I live a very ascetic life, but I do like my entertainment and stuff. So so I watched a movie last night. It was 3.5 hours long. But it wasn't really a movie. It was like 4 little movies. It was called Boccaccio 962. And for the longest time, it wasn't shown in America. Or if it was shown in a 2-hour version. And they took a couple of movies out. But I saw, and it was 4 famous directors. Mario Monicelli, who I didn't know a whole lot about. But that movie was pretty good. And then there was a second one by Fellini, with Anita Ekberg in it. That was very good, about a giant billboard with her on it. That was very good. And then there was one, a story about class and everything by Luciano Visconti, and it had Romy Schneider, famous German actress, who was very good. And then the last one may have been the best one, was Vittorio De Sica, and it had it was a bit of a comedy. I think they're all based on old stories that were written in the Middle Ages or something but this was the Decameron, I think is what it was called. And there's been a lot of versions of that, but this was an Italian version, and it had Sophia Loren. I looked it up. Sophia Loren was only like 27 years old when she made this movie. She's still going strong too. Yeah. Her husband produced the whole production, Carlo Ponti. And let me tell you something. Why people love each other, that you can't really define. Do you know that Sophia Loren was once the most gorgeous woman in the world? Well, she was like Ginger of her day, the Ginger of her day, the genie of her day, in the 1950s and early 1960s. And she had a chance to marry Cary Grant, who was this, you know Cary Grant is, I don't have to explain.
Yeah.
She turned him down for this guy who was 35 years older than her, or 30 years older, probably at least 25 years older than her. He looked old. Bald head, short guy, big nose. Carlo Ponti. She picked him over Cary Grant. There's no explanation for that. You are attracted to who you want. And so I once asked this of a woman. I said, does it really matter what a man looks like? She goes, not really. I mean, he has to be somewhat good looking. That the attraction is there, but at the same time, you have to have a kinship with each other. You can't have nothing in common with people, Yeah. And I'm terrible at that. Let me tell you what I do. Everywhere I go, I find something in common. Everyone I meet. If it's politics, I try to figure out what politics are so I could talk about them on their side. Or sports. A lot of men have nothing in common, but if we like football or baseball or something, we'll talk about that. Or anything, movies, entertainment, songs, music, and I try to find an affinity for people. Now the trouble is, this is what sinks me, is that once they get to know me, they realize, they get to know who I really am, and all the contradictions and everything, and then they say, well, we have nothing in common. I thought we did when we talked baseball, but that was about it. So, but you try to keep that going. Sometimes I think the less you spend with people, the less they know about you, and the more they like you. I tell you something, I don't give interviews or anything. I tell my fans to just look at our podcast and you'll get a good idea what we're like.
Yeah.
But I think the most interesting people are the people you know the least bit about, because once you know everybody, people actually, and you've been probably suffered through this yourself, is that they think they know you, they read the first page of your biography, and they think they read the whole book. And I tell them, you don't know the first thing about me. And it's true. Everyone has contradictions. Surprisingly, I was watching this is one of the things I saw. Whoa! This is one of the things I saw on TV. It was she's old now. Remember the woman who played Pat on Saturday Night Live, Julia Sweeney? Oh yeah. She did a one-man show. Oh, she did a one-woman show. Well, with Pat, you can't tell one man or one woman. Where she talked about cancer, and this was about maybe 20 years ago. Between then and recently, maybe 2022, and this is when I saw this. It was recorded in I saw it a few days ago. She was talking about how those 20 years, listen to this, she was a housewife. She got married, adopted a daughter, and she lived like a typical person. And someone at her kid's school told her daughter, your mother used to be really famous. She used to be a movie star and a TV star, and everyone knew who she was. and so she says, I'll show you. And then there was the Pat movie. I met the guy who was in the Pat movie. Dave Foley. He came to the Comic Con last year, and he was very nice. I shook his hand and everything. Anyway, I got my picture taken with him. Anyway, he was Pat's girlfriend or boyfriend or something. I asked him about the movie. Anyway, she showed the movie to her. So I goes, "Wow, you used to be famous, yeah." And they asked her to be in on the Today Show for Halloween as Pat, and she hadn't been Pat for like 20 years or something, or more than that.
There's a movie called It's Pat.
It's Pat, yeah, that's the movie.
That's
and well,
funny.
they brought her back maybe 5 years ago or so, out of nowhere, out of living in Chicago, I think it was, back to the Today Show dressed as Pat, and she had her costume, and she didn't fit into her costume. Part of the Pat costume was she wore a fat suit. And she said, "I can't get the fat suit on. Oh, and then I can't get my costume on over the fat suit." And they said, "Why don't you just skip the fat suit? you look fine the way you are." That shows how age. Also, she found out that things have changed. While Pat was funny about, I don't know, what's the word? Androgyny.
Yeah.
Can't tell man or woman. You could say you can go that further with transgender and sex changes and stuff like that. And that's the whole act for Pat. And she said that her daughter said, that's not very nice to make fun of those types of people. And she didn't realize that while that was funny, 40 years ago, now it's not politically correct to do that. So she thought, well, I don't even know if I should do that anymore, Pat. And it was the first time in 20 years, but she did it, and I think that was the end of that. The funny line in that show was, "I might be the Al Jolson of androgyny." They're going to look at myself and just condemn it and cancel it and everything. But what's funny then, not maybe not funny now. I saw a movie that you think of movies they can't make anymore, like Blazing Saddles and Freaks.
Oh yeah.
But I'm kind of glad there was no political correctness then, because I like those movies now. I like watching them as artifacts of the time. And they also make a lot of point. But there's one movie that I saw just a few days ago. I saw it at the time when it came out. It was a big hit. You ever seen The Toy? It's based on a French film, and the French film I think is about this kid, this rich guy has a son, a little boy, and the little boy he doesn't know so he buys him a homeless man, I think, to play with, and they become friends. It's called La Jouet, and that's, I guess, The Toy. And then when they made the American remake, they kind of changed it a bit and made it a black man. So a rich man buying a young white boy, a black man, to play with, kind of racist, kind of slavery. But the movie is funny, and the movie is good. And then Richard Pryor was the star, and the old man was played by Jackie Gleason, which was great to see at the time. You didn't see Jackie Gleason a whole lot of things at those days. He was near the end of his career and the end of his life, so it was great to see Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor in a movie. And the boy Scott Schwartz, I think is his name. He was also in A Christmas Story, the kid with the tongue on the on the pole. So anyway, but they said this movie couldn't be made today, and yeah, probably not. But that it's I hate to give a rubber stamp to things that, but part of comedy is that it does offend people. Maybe you shouldn't offend the wrong people, maybe victims of society or something. But I have no problem making fun of politicians or people who take themselves too seriously, rich people. They could take it.
Yeah.
They could handle it. The Three Stooges, for example, they would actually brainstorm and they would actually say to the Three Stooges, what are the how can we what group of people can we make fun of this week? The medical profession, the labor union, the census, anything, and then that was what they would do, So anyway, so that's so I've been just enjoying all these movies I've been downloading on the internet.
Yeah.
And shows,
Yeah.
I realize I don't watch a lot of TV, regular TV. I don't watch any cable TV. because there's nothing there I want to really watch. Some comedy shows maybe, Beavis and Butthead or
Yeah.
something. The South Park, Comedy Central shows I like. Jon Stewart is good. The late night talk shows I like, and I like Survivor. I watch Survivor. I watch Jeopardy. Jeopardy is about the only thing I watch year round. The other shows are more seasonal shows.
Yeah.
But I just love Jeopardy. I could watch Jeopardy. I never get tired of watching Jeopardy. I could record it on my VCR, Jeopardy, like 2-week vacation, and come back and watch them all. And a friend of mine did that, and he said that he had to give his brain a break because he kept zipping through the commercials and the interviews and everything, and just wanted to focus on the questions. And after maybe 3 shows, he goes, "My brain is frying. I gotta take a break." You need the commercials and the interviews on there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about CDs. Is there we have them right here, and our lovely host has picked them out. What to talk about?
Norah Jones.
Norah Jones.
Yes.
Is this Norah Jones? Yeah, this is Norah Jones. Norah Jones has a few albums out, and tell me, what do you like about Norah Jones?
There's a song that she used to sing, and it was in her old CD, her old album.
Well, the first one.
Yeah, it's called "Come Away with Me."
Come Away with Me. It was a very good first album. I don't even know where she came from, but she was great.
I think she came from Canada. Or
No, I
something.
mean where she came from. No one ever saw her. She does have a famous father, but from what I gather, he was like a illegitimate father. It was Ravi Shankar, and he was, but she was great. I saw she has a few albums where she sings with Willie Nelson, and they're good. It's starting to rain again, so we'll end this soon. But where she sings with Willie Nelson, and she sings popular songs like Patsy Cline songs and country songs and everything. She's from Texas originally, but she's Indian, obviously, Indian from Ravi Shankar, who was a great sitar player or whatever he plays.
Yeah.
That I don't want to make fun of Indian music. But I like her music better than I like Ravi Shankar's music. And when I saw her, she was so great. I saw her, it was part of a Rock the Vote show. It was Sheryl Crow, her, Beastie Boys, Jack Johnson, and some other band. And half the people hated the other half of the music. I was there for Sheryl Crow, Norah Jones, and Jack Johnson. Everyone else was there for the Beastie Boys and that rap group. And half of us hated the slower music, and the other half hated the rap music.
Yeah.
But we all got together. I saw Susie Spacek in the audience, and then she went backstage. I think she went to talk to Sheryl Crow, and I thought she'd come out on stage and introduce someone, but no, she just went back to her seat. Later on, I met her at an art gallery in Richmond. Just ran into Sissy Spacek. But Norah Jones I'd never met, but I did see her in person, and she really impressed me, because I never, other than listening to her albums or see her sing a song or two on television. That's all I know about Norah Jones. But Norah Jones was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the rest of your week look like? The end of summer.
I know I got rehearsal on Sunday.
And what show is this?
The Wrinkle in Time.
The Wrinkle in Time. So mark that on your calendar.
Yeah, I'm working on 3 shows so far.
Wow.
I'm doing Wrinkle in Time, Oliver, and Gypsy.
Oh wow. You got the trifecta there.
Yeah.
The hat trick. All right. Anyway, I'm getting wet.
Yeah, I just want to let y'all know. Thank you all for tuning in. Take care. God bless you.
I don't think I have. Can't do this. I think I need. Don't get up yet. We're still doing the show. We're having a heck of a time with this. We got to turn this off. I'm going to use my tie to wipe this.
I like your tie, by the way.
Oh, the tie is very good. It's Curious George.
I love Curious George.